It's Lori here. It is October 12th, which means it is Columbus Day. So I was home for most of the day. I actually was in the middle of doing a readathon, but I stopped the readathon a little bit early because I had finished a book and I didn't think I was going to finish anything else. So I'm just going to kind of go over what I'm planning on reading this week. This vlog will probably be Tuesday to Monday. Depends on how much footage I get. I am in the middle of reading a Regency romance novel, One Night of Passion. I don't know why. I've just been really craving Regency romances. I normally don't like romance books, like at all pure romance, but for some reason I like the Regency ones. I don't know what it is, but I just like the court politics and the drama and the intrigue. So that's what I'm kind of going to read for the rest of the night. I am watching a bunch of older YouTube videos as background noise. But I am going to go into my physical TBR for the week. I am in the middle of listening to Aru Shah in The Song of Death, which is my audiobook that I'm in the middle of reading. That also does go for one of the prompts for the All Hallows readathon. But these are the books I'm going to start tomorrow and hopefully make some progress on this week. The first one is the Unmapped Chronicles, the Bickley twins and the Phoenix Tear. Now, this is the title in America. There is a different title in England, but this is the second book in the Unmapped Chronicles series, and I found the first one to be adorable. Definitely one of my favorite middle grade books that I read this year, and I'm really excited to dive into this one. So this is a book that I'm going to start tomorrow when I go to work. Another book that I'm going to read is Beyond the Ruby Veil by Mara Fitzgerald, and this is a book that I'm going to work for the All Hallows readathon because it's published in October, which is one of the prompts. And I don't know if it's actually still being published in October, but on the bind it does say it was supposed to be published in October. And this is a historical fiction magic novel, I think, and the real cover is gorgeous. And my friend Leonard sent this from me from ALA, I think, a while ago. So this is the next book I'm going to read. And then the other book is The Library of the Unwritten by AJ Hackett. And this is just a book that I've had on my TBR since last year at New York City Comic Con when I picked it up. And it's basically a story about a library that has all unfinished stories in them. And I think one of the stories escapes and it's up to the librarian to go hunt it down, which sounds cool. And I have quite a few library themed books on my TBR that I've never got around to reading, so hopefully this one might inspire me to read the other ones. And the sequel to this book just came out or is coming out. And the last book I'm going to try to tackle this week is Chosen by Kirsten White, which is the sequel to Slayer. I read Slayer like at this point last year or 2 years ago. Really enjoyed it. I never got around to reading Chosen, so I'm putting it on this TBR in hopes that I will complete it. I'm about 150 pages in to One Night of Passion. I'm probably only going to read this tonight. I do have the audiobook for it, but basically it follows this girl named Georgie. I've been reading a lot of Regency romances with a character named Georgie in it. I read another one once, Here Comes Scandal, that also has a character named Georgie. But she is being forced to marry someone that she doesn't want to marry. And the only way she can get out of it is to be ruined by a man before they test to see if she's still a virgin. And she kind of wound up encountering somebody who is in a really bad state, I would say. Like, he's being like labeled a traitor to the government and all this other stuff, but she is determined to be ruined by him. There's a plot point in this book that I specifically want to read, which is why I chose to pick it up. I don't want to spoil it here because I feel like that's a little bit too spoily, but there is a reason I'm reading this, and I'm going to go tackle it for the rest of the evening. I will update you guys if I make any more substantial progress. It's only 6 o'clock. But yeah, I'm going to go kind of get ready for work tomorrow and kind of organize my backpack. I am going to take these 2 books with me tomorrow and stick them in my bag. But yeah, I will update you guys when I can. Bye. Right here, it's about 7:05. I'm about 43% into One Night of Passion, which is one of my Regency romances I've been reading. The first part was super fun. I'm waiting to see where the story goes. I kind of have an idea. They are splitting the timeline a little bit. I'm only going to read this until maybe 9. I think it's like 7:05. I'll read for like 2 more hours, and then I'm gonna watch a couple of episodes of The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, which I'm really excited for. And then I'm gonna like take a break from Regency for a little bit and go back to my creepy reads, but I was just craving it, and I'm just gonna like read it for the rest of the night and then try to like move on a little bit, and I'll eventually finish it. But all right, I'm gonna go read a little bit more, and I'll give you guys an update when I make a bit more progress. Talk to you guys in a bit. Right, here I am back. It's about 7:45. I did wind up getting up to page 209 in One Night of Passion. It's definitely a different type of historical romance. I'll say that. Like, it does have the plot point I was looking for. I structured it a little bit differently, but it definitely has more to do with the political side of things, and they're in the middle of a war, so there's that going on. The book also jumps into the future by like a year midway through the book. But I'm about 54% done. I'm still going to keep reading for another hour and see how far I can get. I'm enjoying it. Definitely not as much as the other historical fiction books I've read in the past. But it's enjoyable. So I'll say that. Like, it's not my favorite. I think right now my favorite one was probably Here Comes Scandal, by Julia Quinn. That was really, really fun read. I also really like Cold Hearted Rake by Lisa Cleopas. Another one I really enjoyed. This one, the writing style is a little bit too choppy. And the romance is just like a little bit weird. I'll say that. Like, I'll give it until the end because we're only about 50% done, so a lot can happen. But the romance is just not as captivating as I wanted. There was no build up. I'll say that at the start. There was no like tension. I'll say. It was more like insta love, I guess, or insta attraction, I guess. But yeah, I'm about to reading, and I'll update you guys when I can. Bye. Right here, it's about 8:14. I did wind up getting up to chapter 12 in that read I was reading, One Night of Passion. I'm liking it. It's definitely not my favorite, so I think I'm going to stop reading it for the moment. I do have the audiobook, so I might wind up listening to it at some point this week and finishing it, but tomorrow I am going to dive into the Unmapped Chronicles. When I come home, I'll give you guys a check-in, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye. Sorry, here. I just came back from work, and I wanted to do a quick update before I go eat. I did wind up making a little bit of progress actually on both my books. I wound up listening to a little bit more of Arusha and the Song of Death. I have about an hour left, I would say, in that read. Still really enjoying it. I think I'm gonna probably listen to a little bit more tonight when I'm working out with my dad and my other workout. But I did want to say that I was able to start Unmapped Chronicles, the Bickley twins and the Phoenix Tear. I do want to say that this is definitely connected to Casper Talk and the Everdark Wings. It's set like, I will say it's set like 30 years in the future or something, because you see Casper Talk in some fashion. So I'll say there is definitely a massive time jump. And you follow these two kids that are from where Casper Talk lives. And their parents are a little bit annoying. They're very much in the competitive spirit. They're really only out for themselves. They have no connection to each other, but they are twins, but like they really are more competitive. Their parents are horrible. I'll say that. Their parents are just horrible parents. But they wind up getting sucked into this mystery, and they're sent to Jungle Drop, which is like this massive forest and has some really, really cute creatures in it. And I just love Abby's world building. I think it's spectacular, so whimsical, so fast paced, so storytelling wise. It's amazing. But they have to and in their actual home, there has been no rain for about 6 months. And this has been because Morg has taken over the Jungle Drop. And Jungle Drop is how the far away our world gets rain. So we're in the middle of a climate disaster, and it's because of this. So they have to go on an adventure to save the day, but they really don't get along, so they're going to have to work together, and I think that that's going to challenge them on a lot of different levels. But I'm really, really liking it. It's definitely so whimsy. I remember loving Casper Tonk, and I love books about twins, and we're meeting a lot of side characters in this book. There's some new creatures. We had a little baby dragon in the first one, and I hope we have another companion that's animal-based. We have met a bird right now that is really like such a commentary. He reminds me of Iago from Aladdin. But yeah, I'm gonna go eat some dinner, go work out, and then I'll come in when I'm starting to read Unmapped, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. Hi guys, Lori here, just checking back in. It is about 7:15. I did wind up doing my dual workout, which was actually pretty impressive because I am pretty tired today. I will say that. Today was a weird day. I have been having consistent issues on the train. Like every single day, something else goes wrong. And it's a little bit more frustrating because I'm I live on Long Island. I work in Astoria, and normally my commute to my house to my school is like an hour. Leave my house at 6:05, get to school at 7:05, and it's perfect. However, at the start of this process of going back to work, they are doing some massive construction, so they actually cut they cut the station that I normally go to. It doesn't exist anymore. Hopefully soon, but doesn't exist right now. So it adds an additional 20 minutes to my commute because I have to go all the way to Penn and then I have to go backwards 20 minutes, which is a long, tedious process. And since that point, which I lose 20 minutes, I keep having train issues. Like, just it's not been a successful week. I've just find it's just been weird, and I get super stressed about being late. The only positive that I can find is like I don't have to be as early as they want you to be. Like, I don't start teaching until 8:30. So I normally always get there in time, but like it may be like 5 minutes and I'm ridiculously late and I don't like being late. So yeah, so that's been that. But I did want to say that I did want to reading up to page about 108 in the Bickley twins and the Phoenix tier. I think I'm just going to call it Unmapped Chronicles book 2 because these titles are super long. Still really enjoying it. I really like the world. The world is so fun to read in. And I think the characters have some super fun dynamics that I just like. They're twins that don't really get along. They're not necessarily the nicest characters at the start of the book, but I hope the world will kind of change them. I did like the tie-in that we got to Casper Talk. We got to see him again, which I really liked. So I'm going to go back to reading. I also last night did watch one more episode of Sabrina, which is really, really exciting. I'm probably going to read for about like another hour, and then I'm probably going to go watch another episode of Sabrina. But yeah, I'll update you guys when I can. Bye. Here, I'm back. I did actually not wind up reading a lot last night. I only wound up reading very, very little, and then I was like really, really exhausted. I did start watching a movie, which on Disney Plus, I think it's called The Undercover Royal Protection Squad. It starred the girl from Andy Mack and the guy from This Is Us. So I'm really interested in that. I think that that's cute. But I do want to like read a little bit more tonight that I didn't wind up doing last night. But during work, I did wind up making some progress on the Unmapped Chronicles. I'm now on page 214. I also just got back from work, worked out, all the fun things. I really am liking this book. I'm quite fond of the characters. I'm quite fond of their relationship. They're definitely deep into their adventure. And just like in Casper Talk and the Everdark Wings, I love the world building that she's doing. I think it's so well done. I always have been a big fan of relationships between siblings, especially twins, and she's really portraying it in such a unique way. There's also a lot of side characters that I'm also really enjoying. And I also wound up finishing Arusha in the Song of Death, which I wound up really enjoying, and I'm really hopeful that I can read book 3 before the end of the year, and I'll probably listen to it. I really enjoyed the audiobook. So I'm going to go make a little bit more reading progress on this, and when I get to page 250, I'll probably update you guys again with a more substantial update, but this is my first update before I got home from work. Talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. It's about 7:12. I am like, I'm so tired. It's just been such a hard adjustment going back to work and commuting and teaching, and now I'm like running from class to class. That part of virtual blended learning is a little bit harder because like you don't think it would make you so tired, but it really does. And you have to, I'm also teaching the same lesson 10 times in a row. So, and I guess I do that normally, but like every class is like on the same track basically that I'm teaching in the building, and then in school they're like totally different. So there's a lot to keep track of. But the good thing is I really am liking this book. And I also did start listening to Don't Look Back by Jennifer L. Armentrout, which is the book for the Time Warp Way book club. So I'm going to definitely go watch that movie I was watching last night. I'll get you guys the title when I check in with you guys tomorrow. But the good news is I'm on page 243, and this book ends at like 340, I think, or 330. So about like 100 pages left. I could definitely finish this book tomorrow. I just have a little bit of a headache. It's been like a little bit of a weird week. It always happens like when I have a day off on Monday because it really like throws my week off, and it's good because I have the day off, but then it kind of throws the rest of my week off. So I'm going to check in with you guys tomorrow when I come home from work. And hopefully I will have made some progress on the Unmapped Chronicles. Bye, guys. I'm back. I just literally got home from work. I just walked in the door. But I did want to say that I did wind up I wound up finishing the Unwrapped Chronicles, the Bickley twins, and the Phoenix Tear. And I adored this book. Really, really liked it. I thought it was a solid companion novel, I'll say. There definitely are some tie-ins to Casper Talk, but I would recommend you read them in order because I think that continuity would make a little bit more sense. But I also really love this book. I would actually give this book 5 stars as well. I really love the first one, but this one I really like the world in this one. I thought it was a very green world. I thought it also had some underlying elements about climate change and the importance of taking care of the environment. I also loved the side characters in this. And we had a bunch of characters that we got to play around with, and both characters really did grow throughout the read. I like that it really was in oh my god, what's the character's name? Fox and Fibber, but Fox was the main point of view that you got, and I just like that it really focused on the twin friendship, and it was just twin friendship and how they changed so dramatically throughout this read, and I was really, really impressed with it. It was such a heartfelt read, a perfect, fast-paced read, and I really, really wound up liking it. I just got home. I did wind up just getting Beetle and the Hollow Bones from my library. It's a graphic novel, and I actually do need one for the reading challenge that I'm in a part of. So I'm actually going to read this one next after I go do some bike riding and work out and eat. But the one that I'm going to read directly after is Beyond the Ruby Veil by Mara Fitzgerald. This does come out in October, so I think it's going to go for that prompt that I have to do. But yeah, I will definitely check back in when I start reading, and I will give you guys my thoughts. I feel a little bit more lucid today. I don't know what it was yesterday. Again, I was very, very tired. I do get very, very tired. I'll say that. It's been like a little bit of an adjustment coming home, going to work every single day, and not doing that for like 6 months really messed with my exhausted levels. Also, I'm commuting longer in the morning, and that's a little bit more complicated. So just a lot. But I am hopeful that I will get some readings done tonight at least. So that's my goal. And I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye. Here I'm back. It's much later. It's 7:14. I did wind up eating, working out, all the fun things. I didn't do my daily burn. I'll probably do that tomorrow, I think. But I did want to say that I did wind up starting Beetle and the Hollow Bones by Elizabeth. This was the one creepy middle grade graphic novel I really wanted to get. Last year I read Mooncakes, and I found that to be an adorable read. This book is a little bit different. It follows Beetle, and she lives in a small town. She is a goblin, I think. Yeah, she's a goblin. This is what she looks like. And she is not a very good goblin. She's not proficient in her powers. Her best friend is a ghost, and the ghost lives in the small. But when an old friend comes back to town and Ghost's home is about to get torn down, they have to go on an adventure to save the day. But the one thing I love about middle grade graphic novels, I'll kind of show you a picture. The art style is always so pretty. It reminds me a little bit of the print, just a cartoony graphic novel. I'm really enjoying it. But yeah, it does not have any page number, so I can't even tell you what page I'm on. But I'm gonna keep reading. One of the prompts for my All Hallows Eve-a-thon is I have to read a book totally in the evening, and this might be it. I literally do not know how many pages it is. I'll have to look it up on Goodreads. But yeah. So I'm gonna go back to read a little bit more, and I'll update you guys when I can. Bye. It's been a while since I've filmed laying down this way or sitting up this way. But I did want to say that I did want to making a little bit more progress on Beetle at the Hollow Bones and the Hollow Bones. I really do not know what page I'm at because it doesn't give page numbers, which is really inconvenient in a graphic novel. I will say that. I know that it's probably they don't want the numbers on it, but basically it follows these two girls, and they were former friends, but now they have come back together. One's a witch and one's a goblin, and Beetle is trying to save her best friend's life. Her best friend's a ghost. He resides in the mall, and her best friend's aunt is trying to tear down the mall. and it leads them into some dramatic situations. But definitely the art style is the highlight of this book by far. Really, really enjoying it. So I'm going to go back to reading. I'm on this section called The Jar, and I will give you an update when I read a little bit more. I would say it's probably about 250 pages, but we will see. I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Right here, I'm back. It is about a 9:08. I do want to finishing Beetle and the Hollow Bones by Lisa Lane. I thought this was really, really cute. I thought it was fun. But the art style was great. I think the art style was definitely the highlight. I like the magic system. I thought it was okay. I would only give it like 3 stars, but I thought it was a very, very fun Halloween themed read. I thought that the focus on friendship was super fun. There was also, I don't want to give it away, but there was an unexpected element to it that I really liked in middle grade novels. Like I've seen that so rarely that it just was a nice take. So I did wind up liking it. I, again, do not know how many pages it is. I want to put it on Goodreads. I'll let you guys know. But again, super fun read. This will definitely take the spot to read a book only at night, because I started this at like 7 and it's now 9. So I read about 2 hours, which means I can take another one off of my checklist for the All Hallows readathon. I was in the middle of deciding between 2 reads. So I think I'm gonna pick up Library of the Unwritten by AJ Hackett. I picked this up last year at New York City Comic Con, and the sequel actually just came out. But I'll just kind of read the back. Books that aren't finished by their authors reside in the Library of Unwritten in Hell. But when a restless character who emerges from those unfinished stories escape, it's up to the librarian to track them down and keep the collection complete. So, I have a lot of library fiction on my shelves. I have this one. I have the one by Victoria Schwab. I have The Invisible Library by Genevieve Cogman. So, this is the first one I'm going to pick up. And yeah, I'm really excited. So hopefully I will be able to start this tomorrow on my commute to the city. I also am going to start or keep listening to Don't Look Back by Jennifer L. Armentrout. And that will be my weekend read. I normally have like a weekend audiobook that I listen to. But yeah, I will check in with you guys tomorrow when I come home from work and when I start the Library of the Unwritten. Bye guys. It's Lori here. I just got back from work. It is a dreary, dreary day. So I'm going to try my hardest this weekend to actually give myself a weekend and read a lot. It's starting to get creepy and spooky in the air, so I want to tackle a bunch of my creepy reads. Also watch some TV. So I actually have like a bunch of little errandy stuff that I want to do, and normally I do it on Friday because I'm a little bit like, I don't know, I'm sometimes less tired on Friday night. We'll see. I mean, last week I felt like I worked all weekend. And I did like a lot of like little errandy stuff that just took me a while, but I want to like also grades. I know it's so bizarre, but grades are like due soon. They're due at like the beginning of the month. And I need to like start putting grades into Schedula. So, which is our grade formatting program. So I'm going to kind of take a couple of hours, hopefully not like all night. Maybe I'll be done by like around like 7. I would be happy to be done by 7, but I'm going to do some filming for you guys, do my Instagram stuff, everything for like next week, production wise, like behind the scenes stuff. And then I'll check in with you guys. I do have a lot of like errandy stuff for school that I'm gonna try to finish tonight as well, because it's not a lot. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts right now. I did start reading Library of Unwritten. I'm intrigued enough to keep reading. But yeah, so I'm gonna go do my errand stuff, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. Here, well, I'm back. It actually only took me till 8 o'clock to do my fun errand. So I actually did like I prep my blog for like 2 weeks, which is what I think I'm going to try to do every 2 weeks to kind of prep stuff like a little bit farther in advance. But I didn't really want up talking at all about Library of the Unwritten. I did start it today. I got about 42 pages in on my commute. Definitely is a book that's going to take me a little while to get used to, but basically you follow this girl named Claire, and she is a library in the Unwritten wing in a neutral space in hell, basically. And her job is to keep track of these unfinished works that authors don't ever finish, and she winds up having to track down an unfinished work in the real world. And then you follow her point of view, you follow this demon point of view that comes to inform her that one of the manuscripts has gone missing, and then you follow another character named Rymel, who I guess is working in hell as something, and if he winds up completing a quest, he will get back in good favor with the people in hell. Or maybe go to heaven. It was a little bit unclear. But I'm intrigued enough to keep reading. We do have like, wow, it sounded all southern there for a second. But I do like we have different characters. I think that when you have different characters in a fantasy world, it kind of expands the world. I like that dynamic of like authors' books getting their own personality, and it was really interesting the first 50 pages that I read. But I'm gonna take a little bit of a mental break. I'm gonna probably go finish watching that movie I started on Disney Plus a couple of days ago, The Undercover or The Second Born Royal Protection Squad. It was a really, really cool movie. I liked it. And I kept wound up falling asleep when I was in the middle of watching it. But tomorrow I am going to do my school errands. Hopefully they won't take me that long, not like last week when they took me like literally all day. I'm gonna go to some yoga. We might look into some early voting things. I definitely am voting this year, but I just don't know if I'm going to do absentee ballot or go there. They did tell us for work-wise that we don't have to go into school, so we can work from home that day, which makes it a little bit easier to go to a polling place because I work in the city and my polling place is on Long Island. But yeah, and I'm definitely going to do some Christmas crafting. I'm going to actually start making my Christmas list, which is like my funnest time of the year. I have some new babies coming in my life this year that I need to spoil rotten. But I will update you guys tomorrow morning before I do my Skillshare class and let you guys know what I'm up to or what my plans will be tomorrow. My plans always kind of change, but it will be another relaxing weekend, and it's getting to be a little bit fallish. Hopefully we don't get snow too early because I really don't like snow. But hopefully I'm able to go to yoga tomorrow in a studio and all that other fun things. So I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye. Right here, I just woke up. It's 8:39. I wind up sleeping a little bit later than I normally do. So I did get ready to go to yoga. I'm going to go into the studio today for the first time in a while. I'm also going to run my errands while I go up to town. I'm going to go to CVS. I'm going to drop a bunch of books off at the library because I did wind up reading a lot of my library books, which is actually good news. I always neglect to do that. I didn't wind up reading anything last night, but I did finish watching The Second Born Royal Protection Squad, which was adorable. Definitely had like a totally unexpected twist at the end of it that I wasn't expecting. And then I wound up watching another episode of Julie and the Phantoms, which I also really, really liked. It's so cute. So I am going to go do my errands. I'm going to go to yoga. I'm going to go probably get some lunch when I'm up there. And then I'll come back and I'm going to see how long my errands are going to take me. There are quite a few today. Not a lot, but there's quite a few school-related errands that I want to kind of get done so that I don't have to worry about it. But yeah, I'll probably read a little bit while I'm out, and when I come back, I'll probably update you guys on my reading progress. I also think I'm going to finally start Don't Look Back by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I normally read my audiobooks over the weekend and get like a pretty good head start because I do a lot of bike riding. It is getting a little bit colder, but I'm still hopeful that I will be able to bike ride. So I'm going to go do my Skillshare class, take a couple of mini lessons in that, and then I'll check in with you guys. Bye. Here I'm back. It's about 12:13. I just got home. I did wind up reading listening to actually a little bit of Don't Look Back by Jennifer L. Armentrout. That is my audiobook. I'm about an hour into it. This is a reread for me. I read this book a super long time ago and I really enjoy it. So I'm doing a reread. I know the end point of the book, but I don't know these things that I just remember really enjoying it. I thought the story was really, really fun, but again, it's been a while, so I don't really remember, like, how we get to the end. I just remember that the ending was surprising the first time that I read it. But basically, for those that don't know, this is, like, one of her only thriller books that she has. She might have wrote other ones since then. But this follows a girl named Sam, and she's found walking on the side of the road with no memory of what happened to her. Not only does she doesn't have a memory of what happened to her, she doesn't have a memory of, like, her whole life. And her best friend, Cassie, has also gone missing. And she's really kind of thrust into her own world. And she starts to realize she's not that good of a person. And she's kind of trying to uncover the mystery of who she was, but also what happened to Cassie and how she can get her memories back. And it's a really, really interesting audiobook. I'm really enjoying it. As for the Library of the Unwritten, I really haven't made all that much progress. I'm still on page 44. I think I read like another page of it or chapter. So still really enjoying this. Definitely they're all trying to find this one book. and you're coming at it from two sides of that equation. So this is the book that I'm in the middle of reading, and I would love to, by the end of this weekend, to finish Chosen by Kirsten White and The Library of the Unwritten. And this will go for the paranormal book in my TBR and Beyond reading challenge that I'm doing for the month of October, but I don't know. So yeah, I am going to take the next couple of hours. I have a few things on my to-do list. I'm gonna do the school things first. Which really isn't that much school things. I have like one or two things I have to do to prep myself for next week. And then I am going to do my other errands. I have quite a few that I have to do. I'm hoping by like 2 I could be done. We'll see. I have to like make up my Christmas list, do some Amazon hunting and stuff like that. So that's kind of what I'm going to be up to. But when I'm done with my errands, I will check in with you guys and we'll see where we are time-wise for the day. I definitely do want to read this book today. This is like my biggest goal. And I have quite a few YouTube videos to watch. But I don't have to film today. I filmed yesterday. I filmed my book haul for you guys yesterday. So I'm going to go do my school-related errands, listening to some of my podcasts that I forgot to listen to yesterday, and I'll check in with you guys when I can. Right here, I'm back. It's actually a little bit later than I thought, but the good news is I did get all my errands done. I was able to go for a bike ride and listen to a little bit more of my audiobook, Don't Look Back by Jennifer L. Armentrout. The one thing I forgot about this book is that it does really mix this like very, very spooky elements with like very, very contemporary issues. So you follow this girl named Sam, and she's found at the start of the book walking around a street with no memory of her current life, like at all. She has no memory. And as she kind of confronts her past self through her friends and her family, she realizes she's not a very good person. And then you kind of have her trying to get her memories back. But then there's like a creepy element in it. And like I read this book a while ago, and I think I know like what's the end point, but I could literally be wrong. But it's a very, very good, it's like a very interesting book because it's making her confront herself, and I think that's super interesting. I'm really liking that. So just got home. I am still on page 44 of Library of the Unwritten. I really do want to dive in a little bit more because I didn't get to read it as much as I wanted to yesterday. So I'm going to try to read about another 50 pages. And then I'll probably give you guys another update because I still don't feel like I really understand the world, and I didn't get to read a lot today. This was not my reading day. Tomorrow will be. So yeah, I'm going to go read this for another 50 more pages, and then I will update you guys. Bye. Guys, Laurie here. I'm back. It is 8:39. I did wind up reaching my goal. I did wind up getting it to page 100 in the Library of the Unwritten. It's a very interesting book. So you basically follow 3 different characters. You follow Claire, who's a librarian. You follow Leto, who's a demon, but I think he was a human. So like he is a demon, and then you follow Rael, and there's a character, like a book. So they basically run a library of unwritten, and that is all the stories that are unwritten by authors go to this place. And sometimes these stories get like a life of their own, and they want to like go out in the world and kind of become human. So she winds up encountering when she and her group of merry band of followers, and I love like the troop of people working together that don't necessarily have a connection. But when she's trying to frantically find this character in the past, or this character in general, she winds up encountering this Rael who's searching for this sliver of a book of the undead, and their paths wind up crossing, and now they have this sliver of this book, and now they have to go on an adventure to basically save the day. It's very interesting. It's a very, very complicated read. Also, every like start of the chapter has like a little like bookish fact set in this world. It is really cool, and I kind of like this The Good Place meets Law and Order Bibliocrime Unit. The book is so much fun. I will agree. It does have a very like mystery themed element. It also does talk about reading and the love of it, and writing and the power behind that. I also think you have 3 very different characters. You have an angel. They talk about a lot about heaven and hell and the relationship in that. It does have a little bit of The Good Place, but it also has a little bit other elements that I'm really enjoying. But it's just a very, very slow read, which I'm perfectly fine with. But this is like the perfect season to read. It's a little bit creepy. So yeah, I was able to reach my goal. I did get through 100 pages, and I did actually read about 3 hours today of Don't Look Back by Jennifer L. Armentrout, which is a reread that I'm really enjoying. But yeah, tomorrow I'm definitely going to spend a lot of time reading. That's going to be my goal. I don't think I'll finish it tomorrow because this book is like almost 400 pages. But I definitely am liking it. I feel like I at least have an understanding of it now, and I know where the story's going, so I'm excited to see what happens next. There's also a few things about Leto as a character that I'm just a little bit intrigued about. You kind of don't know, like, timing wise where everything is because they're in kind of like an in-between place in heaven and hell, all these characters, so I'm just curious to learn more about them all in general. It does have remind me like a little bit of the Harry Dresden Files, just like the way the world is built and the adventuring and quest elements. I do have a couple of other library themed books I would love to tackle, including the Invisible Library and a couple of other ones. But yeah, I'll check in with you guys tomorrow. Bye. Here I'm back. It's about 8:32 in the morning on Sunday. Last night I did wind up watching 2 episodes of Julia and the Phantoms, which is just such a cute show. So cute. And then I started watching Sabrina, and then I just got too tired. So I'm going to hopefully finish watching Sabrina tonight and watch 2 episodes of Sabrina. But first, I am going to take my Skillshare class, go to yoga. I'm going to alternate today between doing some Christmas crafting, because yesterday I was able to start my Christmas list. And I'm really going to read. I have quite a few YouTube videos that I want to watch. And last night I got to page 100 in the library of the Unwritten. I'm also still listening to Don't Look Back by Jennifer L. Armentrout, which is my audiobook of choice, which I'm really, really loving. That's a reread for me. And I'm hoping to even also squeeze in a bike ride later. But yeah, so I'm going to go do my Skillshare class, and it's about productivity, which is the ones that I really, really like taking because I'm not super good at productivity and I get a little bit frustrated with myself. But I'm going to go do that, and then when I'm done with that, I'll probably head to yoga, and I'll update you guys when I'm doing yoga. Bye. Here I'm back. It's almost 1:30. I went to yoga. I actually listened to quite a little bit more of Don't Look Back by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I'm really enjoying my reread of that. It's been a bit since I read it, but I'm really liking it. I like that book. I like because that book is so focused on self-discovery, which it does have a mystery element to it, which I'm really, really enjoying. So that will be my book I probably take on my bike ride later. But I also did go get my nails done. It was like a bit of a pampering day, and I did get up to page like 116 in Library of Unwritten Things. There has been another element introduced that I'm really liking. But there also is there's like a group of characters that are kind of working together, and they don't necessarily know each other super well. And I like a ragtag bunch of heroes. So yeah, I'm going to make some reading progress. I also did finish my second calendar for the holidays, which I was hopeful that I would be able to complete. So I'm going to go watch a few more YouTube videos and read Library of Unwritten Things, Library of the Unwritten. And I'll update you guys when I get up to like 150 and give you guys my thoughts. But so far it's becoming a little bit more enjoyable. It's definitely like a slower read, but I'm okay with that. So off to reading I go. Talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. Here, I actually had to wrap up this reading vlog. The rest half of this day, I really struggled to pick up anything that I liked. I switched my book rating like 4 different times. So I think I'm just going to stop this reading vlog, go start my next one, and kind of like get myself in a little bit of a better headspace and kind of choose what I want to read. But during this reading vlog, I was able to finish reading both the Unmapped Chronicles, I think it's the Flicker Twins, and the Phoenix Tears. I really wound up loving that book. I gave it 5 stars. So much fun. That was my 5-star read. I also read Beetle and Hollow Lane, which you'll see in this past reading vlog. It was like a graphic novel. I read around up giving that 3 stars. I wound up liking it and then wound up loving it. I thought the art style was amazing. The story was okay. And then I picked up Library of the Unwritten for the rest the tail end of the week, and it just did not capture my attention that much, so I really struggled with it. So I'm going to like kind of take a little bit of time. It's only like 5 o'clock right now, and I'm probably going to start another reading vlog and do some of my errandy stuff because I have to go to work tomorrow. But thank you guys for joining me for this week-long reading vlog, and I will see you guys for my next one with some spooky reads.